Okay, so now it's time to sort of put this all together. And we've got a specific example here where we're going to take some transcripts, we're going to take some additional instructions, we're going to take a user message from Slack, and we're going to put it all together and have it processed by OpenAI through the API for that chatbot LLM for ChatGPT. Then we're going to take that processed transcript, take the highlights that it's given us, we're going to have it create a Google Doc so that our coworkers or our editors and fellow reporters can edit and review this. And then we're going to let them know, go back to Slack where it was first received, and we're going to leave a threaded message that notifies people that a new transcript has been processed, the highlights have been generated, and it's ready for review. So all of this is going to happen at the click of a button, and you'll see how it works in just a second. So let's dive in. So let's start with something relatively simple that is directly related to our reporting and news gathering efforts. And we'll start by what we want to do is we want to take a transcript or a recording from a meeting or a call or a public meeting or something, and we would like to feed this into our entry point, which is where our inputs are going to go. We want that input to be accompanied by a set of instructions that informs the bot of specific information we want and the way we want it to act on this information. And we're going to have that bot perform a task and then use automation to automatically process the information that we've given it alongside the context and the instructions we've given it. And then we're going to have that output in the format of our choosing and have it sent directly to a location where we can review it and approve it and move it forward in the editorial chain. So in order to do that, we've got the following automation set up. So we have every time a new message is posted to a Slack channel, in particular, the automation test channel, we want it to automatically send that information from that message to ChatGPT. And we've set up a prompt here that asks it to process the text and transcript, if applicable, below. Print your response using plain text formatting compatible with Google Docs, and we don't want any bolding, italics, or other rich text formatting. Then we want to have it pull in our message from Slack. So let's go ahead and send a message in our Slack channel here, our test automation test. I've got one copied. This is from a recent press briefing that we hosted on March 19th. And I've included some information about the press briefing, including a list of speakers and the panelists as well as some overall information. And then because I've got the transcript, which I've transcribed the audio using 11 Labs speech to text, personally, I think this is by and away the best audio transcription I've ever seen. I used to use Otter, which also is fine. There's a number of different tools out there you can use to transcribe audio, but I've exported that as a TXT file, as you can see here, and it's got our timestamps and our speaker names up top. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to upload that to attach it to our Slack message here. I'm going to take the text. Okay. It's attached, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to send that. I'm going to come back to Zapier. I'd like that to pull in the text and the file that we've attached. And that's going to use the model 4.0 latest. We've got our assistant instructions that I've put together here using the prompt playground for extracting and preparing highlights and key quotes and statements from presenters and speakers on any transcript that I give it. I've got some instructions step by step here. I've got the output format that I want. I've got examples 1 and 2 of what the results should look like, and I've got some additional notes, and I've edited that slightly here. I want a list of 10 key quotes with speaker attribution. I want a bullet pointed list of at least 5 follow-up areas or story angles, and I wanted to use clear plain text identifiers to mark speaker names and just reinforcing no bolding, italics, or other rich text formatting. Here's a quote example with the timestamp, another quote example here at the bottom with follow-up suggestions. And I've got some additional instructions. I've set our max tokens for our output at 2048 and our temperature at 0.5. So once that's done, I would like it to then take the response from ChatGPT and create a document in my Google Drive in the meeting summaries area here, this folder. So I've indicated that here. I've told it what the file name is going to be. The file name is going to be transcript summary, the model that we used, and then the timestamp for when that message came in so I can refer back to it later. And then the content, creating that file from text, will be the response that we get from ChatGPT, and I'm going to have it convert to an editable document. Then when that's done and it's ready for review, I'm going to have it send a Slack message back to that same channel and respond as a thread on that original message in our Slack response here. So let's go ahead and test this out. So I'm going to go over to our Slack channel here. I'm going to paste that same response. I'm going to upload our transcript. I'm going to space this out a little bit, and I'm going to send it. And we're just going to wait to see what happens. And we can see here, we had a little bit of an issue because it was supposed to respond as a thread, but we do have our Google Doc here at the top. And if we click on that link, it gives us our key quotes from our March 19th press briefing on the New Jersey housing crisis. We've got our speakers, our quotes that are timestamped, and we've got a bunch of different, we've got all 10 of them here from different speakers, and we've got follow-up suggestions for additional reporting. These suggestions look pretty good. I'm going to go back and check Slack here. It looks like we have to go back into our Zap and make sure that it's actually sending it to the correct thread, but that's okay. This is pretty easy to figure out. So we're going to add our thread TS, and we're going to make sure that that's coming from custom area here. And our message is going to be posted. We're looking for TS. So we're going to do thread TS, or actually we did that before. It looks like it's the same. So we're going to do TS this time, and we're going to continue, and we're going to retest that step to see what it looks like. And it looks like it worked. So here it is in an actual thread. So we'll use that TS instead of thread TS, and we'll publish this. And we'll add a little note, updated TS indicator, and we'll hit publish. So now that's live. So now anytime a message comes to that Slack channel with any text or information in there, it's going to run this automation, and it's going to return that threaded response with those highlights. Now, this is incredibly useful. This saves us a bunch of time. It's repeatable. We don't have to continue to type out these instructions. All we have to do is add as much information or as little information as we want for this kind of response. So let's try this one more time. Let's see if we can get a different transcript and try it. Let's go here. Let's do a deep dive, a transcript of a deep dive audio that we recorded on the history of the Center for Cooperative Media. So if this is just a transcript, we're going to take this transcript. We're going to take the text version that's been downloaded. I'm going to come back over here, and we're going to try this again. I'm going to upload this. I'm not going to add any additional instructions, and we're just going to see how it does with this limited instruction set. So let's go ahead and send that. There it is, and we can see that the transcript snippet is here. Okay, it's a little disjointed, but it'll have to do. So now we'll wait for the response. There it is in a thread. Okay, and we've got some quotes from Stephanie Murray. We've got some stuff about the Collaborative Journalism Summit, and we've got our follow-up suggestions. And if we click here, we get our Google Doc that we can now send, we can edit, we can leave comments, and we've been notified. That was very, very quick. So there's just one example of how we can set this up relatively quickly and get things moving so that we can streamline and automate some of these processes with one or maybe two layers of ChatGPT baked in. But we can get more complicated than that. Number one, we can add a filter. So if maybe we don't want every message that comes into Slack to automatically trigger the automation, and let's add a filter that says only continue if the message text contains the word transcript. Okay. This would have continued because it has the word transcript in it. So now we've added a filter, and maybe we want to, in addition to a Slack channel message, maybe we want to send an email to our editor to let them know once we've finished, everything has been processed, the next person's, it's their turn to go review this. So in this case, we're going to have it send an email. We're going to choose our account. And our email is going to go to, let's send it to my Gmail just as a test here, but you can add anybody you want. It's going to come from me. The subject or the from name is going to be transcript bot. The subject is going to be new, transcript, summary, and highlights available for review, or let's say ready for review and processing. Body type is going to be plain, and it's going to say, hi, Joe. A new transcript has been processed, and the highlights are ready for additional review and processing. Here is the link to the highlights document. And then we're going to insert that link from our Google Drive file. Reply to this email if you have any questions. Sign it as Joe. Add our signature. And we're good to go. So we're going to test this now. It says it was sent in about 6 seconds. So if I open up my Gmail, I should see, there it is. There is our transcript bot. All that information is correct. When we click on the link, it opens up the transcript document. And that's pretty much it. These kind of automations, you can go wild with them. You can make them incredibly useful or specific. You can make them robust and complicated, and you can keep building and building on the little iterations that you have to make them increasingly useful for you and your team. Most of these things, including the notifications and emailing people to let them know something is ready, are usually done manually. And they can continue to be done manually in certain circumstances, but each time you add one of these automations, you save yourself and your team a little bit of time. And that time that you save, those few seconds or minutes that you save up front, really does add up over time. So now it's your turn to play around with this stuff, to tinker with it, to try to come up with automations that'll save you time. Don't worry about jumping into multi-step zaps and automations or throwing everything together at once. Try, for instance, a 1 or 2 step, maybe even a 3-step automation that does one thing that is super repetitive that you do all the time that you'd like to offload. Something that you can guarantee will be consistent, something that doesn't require a lot of complexity or even really a large or lengthy prompt for the LLM. You might even start with something that doesn't require an LLM step at all and then find ways to add additional layers further on down the line once you're confident with the automation as it's set up. This can apply to a whole wide range of tasks, everything from taking form submissions and reformatting them to creating email notifications that are customized based on the content and the intended recipient, to automatically generating summaries or headlines or takeaways from copy that you receive or that you've written. The list goes on, and I want you to take some time to think about it, write it out, map out some things that you could find in your workflow that are repetitive and consistent that you can start to slowly automate and build in, of course, robust human oversight. Those oversight and moderation steps are crucial so that you not only have a bird's eye view of what's going on from a process standpoint, but also you have the opportunity to look at and review the outputs at each crucial step and station of this automation. And remember, the goal is to save you time. So if you're sacrificing accuracy and forcing yourself to constantly go back and review and re-edit because you have these really complex and opaque automations and generative steps in there, you're not actually saving yourself time in the end. You're spending more time just on a different type of task. So make sure that these steps are concrete and small enough so that you can review them and you can get guaranteed output quality, and you're not chasing these models all over the place because it seems like it might save you time just because it's able to generate text instantly. So go out there, figure out what you need to do, and start building. And if you have any questions, I will see you in the instructors forum. Good luck.